about 586 BC. Synagogue worship consists of Bible reading, Bible teaching, preaching, music, and prayer, much like many of our church services would contain. Now coming north of this, we have a rectangular building with a red roof toss on the top. This is called the Palace of Helena. Helena was a Mesopotamian queen who accepts Judaism as her religion. She moves to the area. She gives out figs and grain during a great famine. The people of Israel loved her so much that they invited her to build their palace right here in the city of David. That was a great honor because, see, she was not Jewish. And in AD 50, this section of the city was relegated only to Jewish individuals. But the population recognized how God used this Gentile queen, this non-Jewish queen, to help preserve the city. Thus, they honored her greatly. Coming north of this, right about where my foot is, there's a square building with an open interior. This is called the Council House. This is where the priests would come. They would study the laws of the Jewish nation, give free advice on those various laws. And during the days of Jesus' lifetime, there are literally thousands of laws for the Jewish nation to learn. In the Bible, how many of you dear folks here have ever heard of the 10 Commandments? You ever hear of them? Okay, very good. Now, there are more than just 10 commandments in the Old Testament. Do any of you know how many total commandments there are? Okay, a little bit more than that even. There's 613 total commandments. Now, you might wonder, shouldn't that be enough commandments to actually live by? Well, here's what happened. The Babylonian captivity ended, and many of the Jewish people came back to the land of Israel. Well, the priesthood wanted to bless them. So they said, we will give them a gift. We will build a law hedge around the biblical law. They added all of these extra laws called the rabbinical traditional oral Torah. Torah in the Hebrew language means law. Well, with all of those extra laws, it became a very, very confusing system. Many would stop here to ask questions of the priesthood before they would do temple worship. Now we have another square building up here called the mikvah. Now the mikvah would have had carved out baths of stone with water in them, and if you were considered unclean, you would come here to bathe prior to doing temple worship. Many things would make you unclean. You could touch a dead body, you could have a disease, maybe you committed a sin. Whatever it was, bathing here was a ritualistic part of the purification rites. Now there actually were many small mikvahs below this Temple Mount. They have been unearthed in recent years. And in this area, some scholars have pointed to this part of the town as the possible site of the first baptisms of the church. Remember how the story goes in the Bible, in the book of Acts, that on the day of Pentecost, up in the upper